Good morning YouTube, my name is Justin. I run this channel here called Bike Converted. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install the Bung shock extension. Let's get into it.
So first things first, remove the screw just behind your seat. If you still have your passenger grab handle installed, you'll need to pull it back then forward like so. If you want to remove that handle, it's a single 3/8 screw. After the seat is off, you'll need to remove this metal bracket over the shock by first removing these two 7/16 nuts, followed by the last remaining screw on the bracket, which is a T27 torque screw. The final attachment is a wire clip located here. You can either cut this or pull it out with pliers. After that is off, the bracket will be free to be set aside. Next up, we'll need to loosen the 1/4" pinch bolt located at the rear of the shock. Don't take this all the way out, just a few turns to get the tension off of it. I also want to take this time to tell you that a lift is not required for this job, but you will need a way to lift the rear of the bike up. I'll be using a motorcycle jack, but a car jack will work as well. Just be smart with it, and I recommend having a buddy there to help you out. With the bike level and the front wheel stabilized in some fashion, place the jack under the rear of the bike and lift it up just enough to get the pressure off the rear shock. If you lift the rear tire, you've gone too far. After that, we'll remove the side cover by removing the 4mm hex bolts. The cover is still held on by a rubber gasket, so just give it a little tug and it will come off, exposing the shock adjuster bracket. To give yourself a little more room later, you can screw in the preload adjuster as high as it will go. Moving back to the clutch side, you'll need to remove this single T47 torque screw from the rear of the shock. This has quite a bit of torque on it, so a breaker bar may be necessary. Completely remove that bolt and set it aside. Do the same thing with the 3/4" at the top of the shock. From there, move to the adjuster bracket. You'll need to remove this single T25 torque screw. It's a tight squeeze, but it's doable. You may need to unclip some wires to get a better angle at it. Once that's out, the bracket and the adjuster will be free. Now there's two options to get the adjuster and bracket out of the bike. The first is to remove the adjuster head, but even with being extremely careful, I stripped that screw with ease. So the other option is to make some room to where the whole unit can fit through. Start by removing this plastic clip by first prying the inner plug up, then removing the entire clip. You can then flip that plastic piece out of the way. You'll then need to remove the torque screw that fills this hole and remove that bracket. After that, fish the adjuster through. It's still a very tight fit, but it's doable. After the adjuster is fished through, the shock is good to come out. It's in there tight though, so don't be afraid to give it a whack or two. Once the shock is out, it will need to be compressed in order to remove the bottom eyelet in order to install the new one. This requires a special tool called a spring compressor. You can rent these at your local auto parts store, but any suspension shop can also do it for pretty cheap. Once the spring is compressed, there is a lock nut that needs to be released prior to spinning the eyelet. Once that is off, simply put the new one on and retighten the lock nut. After that, it's essentially the same process in reverse. Start with the rear T47 shock screw, apply a small amount of blue thread locker and torque to 70 to 75 foot-pounds. Next, retighten the 1/4" pinch bolt to 12 to 15 pounds. And then last but not least, reinstall the 3/4" screw at the top of the shock and torque to 80 to 90 foot-pounds. Fish the adjuster back through the way it came out and reinstall using the single T25 torque screw. After that, replace any of the small clips and tabs that you removed and reinstall the side cover screws. Replace the shock bracket, and finally the seat. If this video helped you, help me by clicking the like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.